Do you know why Australia is both a continent and a country? Australia is one of the United Nations' 193 members, after all. However, not all UN members may agree that a country is a country just because it is a member of the organization. For instance, North and South Korea refuse to acknowledge one another because they both regard themselves as the genuine leaders of all of Korea. Due to the circumstances surrounding northern Cyprus, Turkey does not recognize Cyprus. 22 UN members, who recognize the Republic of China as the legitimate government of China, confined to the island of Taiwan, do not even recognize the People's Republic of China, the nation with the most population. And the UN member who is least recognized, with 32 other members refusing to recognize Israel as a nation due to the trivial problem of the Israel-Palestine conflict. However, Australia has no such problem with this. Everyone accepts that Australia is a country since it gained independence from the British Empire in 1901 and has a population of more than 23 million people. Of course, it goes without saying that Australia is a country. That wasn't really up for debate. The Australian continent is where the actual problem lies. The English-speaking globe spans 7 continents, as I previously mentioned. And while there is controversy about whether America refers to both North and South America, there is also controversy in Australia. First off, there is no formal definition of the word Australia in the context of a continent. Asia's border with Australia is not well delineated. The Australian continent may or may not include East Timor, although it is typically seen as being in Southeast Asia. The most popular definition of the Australian continent includes Tasmania, mainland Australia, and the island of New Guinea, which is made up of 2 Indonesian provinces as well as the autonomous nation of Papua New Guinea. This is because all of the islands share the same continental shelf. The 7 continents paradigm is problematic, though. Why? What continent does New Zealand belong to? What about the remaining 11 sovereign nations in the South Pacific? Technically speaking, they don't belong to any continent. Therefore, one of 2 things typically occurs. Either they are wrongly categorized as being a part of Australia, or there are nations that are not associated with any continent. The issue is that there is no precise meaning for the word continent. The world's continents are classified by convention rather than by any precise standards. In reality, if you look up the word continent in a dictionary, you typically just get a list of the 7 continents and some nebulous meaning. As a result, 12 nations are not included in the 7 continents concept. Now, you could assume that this makes sense. A nation truly isn't a part of any landmass if it is located in the middle of an ocean, am I right? Well, other continents don't seem to have a problem with this. Despite being an island nation thousands of miles from the rest of Europe, Iceland is one example of a country that is regarded as being in Europe. What about Madagascar, then? Despite lying on a whole separate continental shelf, it is regarded as being in Africa. What about the Seychelles, actually? Despite having no landmass, this area is nonetheless regarded as being in Africa. As a result, the concept of the Australian continent is restricted to the continental shelf, whereas other continents are much more flexible in defining which nations belong there. For ease of use, the name Oceania is used to describe all of the nations and islands in the South Pacific. The four subregions of Oceania are Australasia, Melanesia, Micronesia, and Polynesia. However, the name Australasia is a little unnecessary. As you can see, the other three subregions are distinct from Australasia. Additionally, even with the most constrained definition, it results in overlap between the subregions. Australia and New Zealand are often referred to as Australasia. In actuality, Australia and New Zealand joined forces and participated in the Olympics as Australasia in the years 1908 and 1912. In broader definitions, Melanesia as a whole as well as the island of New Guinea may be included. However, even if we limit the definition of Australasia to simply Australia and New Zealand, that still makes New Zealand a member of two different ocean subregions. However, Oceania is not a continent. Instead, it is categorized as a geographic area. Well, at least in English. Oceania is referred to as a continent in different languages. Which makes sense given that all nations are a portion of a continent and that Australia the country and Australia the continent have different names. However, despite their differing meanings, Australia is both a country and a continent in English. Oceania is used in the United Nations Geoscheme, which divides the world into geographical areas. Another subregion is simply referred to as Australia and New Zealand. In conclusion, there are 7 continents in the world. Australia, the continent and the nation, are both represented here. Both of which are a part of Oceania, a larger geographical area that is further broken down into 4 subregions: Australasia, Melanesia, Micronesia, and Polynesia. Comment below your ideas to share with us. Also, be sure to check out our other videos in Could Be Anything channel. Thanks for watching and, as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.